Greetings! So today I wanted to do a video about the best mod combination that I have come across for the Fiesta ST, and that is two mods from Mountune, or you can get similar or equivalents from other manufacturers, and those two mods are the Quick Shifter and the rear motor mount. So before we get into why they're such a good combination together, I want to talk a bit about them individually. So I didn't do them at the same time, although a lot of people would do them at the same time, but I didn't. I did them a fair few months apart, I suppose. So the first one I did was the Quick Shifter. So in order to feel like the real impact of them together, I think doing them separately is maybe a good idea, and doing the Quick Shifter first is a good idea. So the Quick Shifter, as you might imagine, the whole point of the Quick Shifter is to enable you to shift quicker. So that's exactly what it does. I think the figure is something like 25% shorter throw, which is quite significant, and it is absolutely noticeable. And it's not just about high speed, absolutely on the beans, like shifting like really aggressively, although it's brilliant for that. You also really notice it like this low speed. I'm just like tootling around in a built up area. I'm not even doing 20 miles an hour. Here we go, I need to shift down. But you notice it, like it's just so much less to do almost. Like you just notice your arm not moving so much, which is a really nice feeling. It just feels really, really handy. And then of course, whenever you are on the beans, that is when it really, really impacts you, because you can shift so much quicker, so much more aggressively, retain so much more speed because you're spending less time in the dead zone of the clutch being in. When you are on the beans, you just boom, boom, boom. It's just so quick. And there's a little ST200, which is awesome sauce. But it's so quick, so awesome, and for all that it costs, I mean, it's not very expensive at all. I'm not sure what the exact price is as of right now, but you can jump on the Mountune website and find out. But the difference that it makes in performance and in feel, it is so worth it. It is such a great value for money mod. It's also not that difficult to install. I mean, obviously you can get it installed by Mountune or authorized Ford dealer, or if you're not going Mountune, whatever other performance dealer you want to use. But you can very easily do it yourself. Yes, it's a little bit fiddly to get in there. It's a relatively tight space and you're sort of fiddling around, but it's not that bad. It's doable, and you know, you can save yourself a little bit of money doing it yourself, and it's actually quite satisfying doing things yourself, to be fair. So installation's simple-ish, it's not that expensive, and it makes a really big performance gain. And also the feel of it, not just the shortness of the throw to shift gear, but also just the feeling of it going into gear. It changes quite noticeably. It's hard to describe other than saying it's notchy. Like, it feels much more positive. It feels like it's really sort of going into something, if that makes sense. And it's ever so slightly heavier, and that's because, of course, it is a lever. A lever is a force multiplier, so making the throw shorter, you will have to put a little bit more effort in order to move the lever. But that is a good thing as well, because again, it makes it feel even more positive. It makes it feel even cooler, even just nicer. It makes it feel almost higher quality gear shift than it was from stock. So for all of these reasons, it's a fantastic mod. If you haven't done it, do it. You will not regret it. Money well spent. Not even that much money. Awesome. So one thing though, whenever you are giving it beans, whenever you are shifting aggressively, going really hard, because you are not scrubbing as much speed in between gear shifts, you can get what is called wheel hop, or some people might call it engine hop, because it's the movement of the engine that is causing the wheel hop. As standard, that motor mount that is at the rear of the motor, it is pretty soft. Well, the rubber bushings that it uses are pretty soft, so it allows for quite a lot of movement. So whenever you are shifting, there is a sort of momentary sort of forward and back jerky motion, and whenever you have a short shifter and you're able to shift that much more aggressively, that jerky motion is amplified. And from what I understand, that literally like pulls the wheels. It sort of unloads the wheels momentarily, which whenever you're giving it all those beans means that they can skip a little bit on the ground. Before I did the installation of the roll restrictor or motor mount, whatever you want to call it, I did a little bit of a video just to show wheel hop, and it's quite noticeable. I mean, whenever you're doing it, whenever you're giving it some beans, you really can feel it. You feel that wheel hop, you feel that little momentary skid whenever you're not getting the power down, whenever you lose that little bit of traction, and of course you can hear it as well. So I'll just insert that little clip right here. So let's see if we can get some example wheel hop. Never know, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Worst out of like first to second gear, but it's a pretty big thing. So that is where the rear motor mount or roll restrictor upgrade comes in. So its primary objective or purpose is to restrict the amount of roll, or restrict the amount of unnecessary movement in the motor. So when you're shifting hard, it won't have as much of a jerky back and forth motion, and therefore should dial out that annoying wheel hop. So how it does this, it's chunkier. The bushings, which are on the Mountune, they're made by Powerflex, so you know they're good. They're huge bushings, and whenever you are changing it over, you can actually see the difference. The bushings are made of polyurethane, and they're way stiffer than the rubber in the standard mount, way stiffer. You can move the standard mount with your hand. There ain't no way you're moving those bushings with your hand on the Mountune rear motor mount, not a chance. Also, another little added benefit is that the polyurethane will last way longer than the rubber of the standard mount, so for longevity it's a nice little upgrade. What I've actually noticed since doing it, since changing the motor mount, whenever I'm giving it beans in a straight line, it actually is a lot less wiggly. Before, whenever you would do like a really hard launch, the steering would be kind of like wiggling around side to side, and you would have to do a lot of corrective steering to deal with that. But with the rear motor mount upgrade, it feels a lot more linear. It feels like it doesn't want to do that so much, and that's actually something that I wasn't even expecting. All I wanted was to get rid of that wheel hop. That was my main objective, and then whenever I find it actually improves the ride even in other areas as well, it was a really nice little surprise for me. It's really sweet. The rear motor mount doesn't cost that much either. It's also relatively inexpensive, and because of the improvement in performance, I would say it's definitely worth it, just as much as the quick shift is worth it. So you can see why I'm saying it's the best mod combo that you can do. You're getting that quick shift, and then you're dialing out the issues that you then notice from the quick shift with the rear motor mount. So it's a great combo. It doesn't cost that much. You can do it all yourself. It's not that difficult. It's just a great mod combo, and like I say, you know, obviously I did the Mountune, but you can do other manufacturers too. You could do, I believe, well, I know that Revo do a motor mount. I don't know if they do. I don't think they do a quick shift, but you can get. There's loads of people who do quick shifts. There's loads of people who do rear motor mounts. I mean, Powerflex that do the bushings for the Mountune, they do their own just whole unit as well. So like, there's loads of different options out there, and they vary in price, but yeah, I mean, there's loads out there. You can get it, you can do it yourself. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't do it. You don't really need very much, and you don't really need any like special equipment to do this stuff. It's just a great combo. Whenever I was like slamming it, I almost felt like I kind of had to hold on with both hands, but now I'm hardly holding on with one, and it just feels so much less leery, and that is awesome. That is really sweet. One thing that some people will say about doing the rear motor mount upgrade is that with those stiffer bushings, you can then actually increase another negative, which is NVH, or noise vibration harshness. So basically the amount of vibration that's coming through from the engine just turning over into the cabin and generating noise, generating a feeling of vibration. So I'll say straight off the bat, there's nothing to worry about at all. I mean, if you're really looking out for it in certain situations, you can maybe feel it, maybe feel a little bit of an increase in vibration. Not necessarily, I wouldn't say there's any more like noise from the vibration, just ever so slightly feeling it. Whenever you're driving along, I don't feel any difference whatsoever. There's like, I'm touching that right now, driving along, I don't feel any like increase in vibration at all. So, you know, in a real world setting when you're actually moving, it's basically zero. Whenever you're stopped, I'll show you a little clip I did of a cold start. I mean, you can feel a little bit of vibration. You can probably feel it most if you hold the actual wheel, but really it doesn't really seem any more, certainly not much more than before. I mean, and this is on cold start, remember, so we're sitting about 1300-ish RPM. I mean, it's negligible, the difference, really. Right, so I've been driving for a wee bit here, so I'll just pull over here, stop the car. Practically no vibration, nothing that I can really feel. Now, one thing I have noticed is that if you put the air conditioning on, that's whenever you can kind of feel it a little bit more. So I press this. Oh, need that to be on. Okay, so AC is on, and I can kind of feel just a little bit of vibration. But again, it's nothing really too crazy. I mean, it's nothing. It's not a problem, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not an issue. If you're really looking out for it, you can feel a slight increase in certain situations, but it's not an issue. You're never gonna notice it really. And once you're used to it, you're never gonna notice it again. You're gonna notice it even less. So NVH, not an issue whatsoever. Now, there are, like I was saying, because there are other options other than Mountune, there are other companies that do bushings that are harder, so even stiffer bushings than the Mountune setup. So you would potentially get more NVH issues the stiffer the bushing that you go for. But certainly with the Mountune, no issue at all. The Mountune is the yellow Powerflex bushing. So no issue at all with NVH. So there we go. I mean, that is it really in a nutshell. The combo of the quick shift and the rear motor mount or roll restrictor is a great combo, and I think you should do it. I love it. It's a great setup. Go for it. So I hope you liked this little video. Please do like, share, and subscribe for more content to come very, very soon. Cheers for watching. Goodbye.